Hi everyone and welcome back. So what if you could test drive a £4,000 watch for about £150? Would that make sense to you? Would you try before you buy? Because that's exactly what I did. Before I committed a single penny to the Tudor Black Bay 58, I spent serious time on the wrist with a Chinese homage, the San Martin SN008. Not to replace the Tudor, not to fool anyone, but to genuinely answer the question, is this watch actually for me? Do I like the design? Do I like the color tones? What about the aesthetic? Well, the simple answer is yes, so here it is on my wrist, the 2026 newly improved Black Bay 58, all thanks to my time spent with the San Martin. It's try before you buy in action. No BS, no maybes, or could-haves or should-haves. Here is the proof. This process actually works. So let me take you back a bit. I'd been eyeing the Black Bay 58 for a few years now. That 39mm case, the vintage dive watch DNA, the black dial with the gold accents, it just kept calling. But at over $4,000 you don't just impulse buy this one, or at least you shouldn't. Plus I was waiting for the inevitable update that came with the OTF micro adjust clasp, and in 2026 that's exactly what happened. So with a clear head the purchase was made. I could not be happier. This was my birthday present to me, the big 5-0. This watch is staying with me, so I had to get it right. So I picked up the San Martin for £150 or roughly $200. You can see why this makes for a great try before you buy watch. Because on paper it ticks a lot of the same aesthetic boxes, and that's exactly the point. And if you want to see my full review of this watch, I will leave a link at the end of this video. But to conclude on the San Martin, let me just say here and now that this is a great watch, really well made and punches well above its weight. And after a few months of trial, I knew I could pull the trigger on the real deal with confidence. Before moving on, do me a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons to support the channel. It costs you nothing, but it goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you. And what I've got in front of me now is the 2026 update coming in at £4,070 on the 3-link bracelet. This is my choice over the optional 5-link Jubilee style. The new METAS-certified MT5400 movement comes with 65 hours of power reserve. The dimensions are perfect with a 39mm diameter, 47.8mm lug-to-lug, and a case thickness of 11.7mm, which is down from the previous version's 11.9mm. You get slimmer hands and a cleaned up dial, a redesigned crown, and the sapphire glass and water resistance remain the same. This watch is just the perfect luxury daily with a touch of class and elegance that doesn't shout Rolex or rob me. Now let's talk about what you actually see and feel every day, because this is where the Tudor has really nailed it. The dial is beautifully executed. You get that rich matte black finish with applied gold hour markers and those iconic snowflake hands, slightly slimmed down from the previous model, which gives the dial a cleaner, more open feel without losing any of that vintage character. The case and bracelet are equally impressive. The blend of brushed and polished surfaces is precise and consistent, exactly what you'd expect at this price point. But the real game changer? That new OTF micro adjust clasp. On the fly sizing at the push of a button, and once you've used it, there's no going back. Finally, let's talk about the seconds hand, because that also gets an update. Swapping the old square tip for a classic lollipop design, a lovely nod to Tudor's earliest dive watches, and my personal favorite when it comes to updates on the dial for this release. And then there's the bezel, satisfying, precise, 120 clicks, zero wobble, zero play. It's the kind of tactile quality you notice every single time you use it. Now let's talk Lume, because Tudor absolutely nailed this. Under any light, the super luminova on these snowflake hands and applied indices charge fast and glows bright. In a dark room, this watch is genuinely impressive, a strong, even glow that lasts through the night. For a tool watch with dive watch heritage, that's not just a nice touch, it's essential. And here's something I have to be honest about. The San Martin holds its own here. The Lume on that 150-pound HOMAGE is genuinely comparable. Bright, even coverage, and it lasts. It's one of the reasons the San Martin works so well as a try before you buy. It gets those important details right. So let's wrap this up, and I want to come back to where we started. Try before you buy. It sounds like something you'd do with a pair of jeans, not a 4,000-pound watch. But thanks to Chinese brands like San Martin, it's a genuinely viable strategy. And I'm not alone here. I've spoken to collectors all over the world who do exactly this. They pick up a well-made HOMAGE, live with the size, the weight, and the aesthetic, figure out whether it actually works on their wrist and in their lives, and then, and only then, do they pull the trigger on the real thing. That's not cheap, that's smart. And look, 5 years ago saying Chinese watch brand in the same sentence as Tudor might have raised a few eyebrows, but the quality coming out of these manufacturers now, well, it's remarkable. San Martin didn't make me love the Black Bay 58 any less. If anything, it made me appreciate the Tudor even more. But if you do take the plunge, what you end up with is arguably the most complete everyday luxury tool watch on the market right now. Tudor have refined every single detail. It sits beautifully on the wrist, it transitions effortlessly from gym to the dinner table, and it's built like an absolute tank. This could genuinely be your one and done watch. The watch that you buy and never feel the need to replace. And at this price point, with this level of finishing, movement quality, and that METAS certification, that's not just hot air and BS, it's reality. So, are you a try before you buy watch enthusiast? Is this something you can relate to or think you might be trying yourself? If so, please drop a comment and let me know what your experience has been, or whether you're likely to start a similar journey. And if you're interested in finding out more about the HOMAGE route, then take a look at my playlist. There is a lot of content there to get you started. I will also leave the links to the 2 websites I tend to buy nearly all my Chinese watches from, in case that helps. I have found them to be very reliable. So if you've enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It genuinely helps the channel more than you know. And drop a comment below. Are you a try before you buy collector, or did you go straight to the real deal? And until next time folks, keep on ticking.